everybody.
Hi, friends. Well, from beautiful winter in Salt Lake City, Utah.
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on the show today, Dan, we've got a message of hope.
Do we?
We're looking to the next year. And we are imagining just like that everything, all the impending doom in the world isn't going to come crashing all down around our heads. That's what we're hoping for.
We'll see. We'll see where this conversation goes because it's not looking great.
Oh my
for
God.
2022.
Every year just keeps
The hits just keep on coming.
I know.
The hits just keep on coming. We're going to talk about we will find that ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
In the dark rain clouds of reality. We'll find it. It'll be there. It will be small.
Yeah. And maybe we'll find a rainbow out there.
Yeah.
Dan.
Maybe.
A beautiful, beautiful rainbow. One like the one or many the what is it in Qatar?
Oh, you just did a segue.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
The Commerce and Industry Ministry in Qatar recently confiscated a line of children's toys.
Oh,
from stores around the country.
How dare you.
Or around the emirate that were a little too rainbowy for them. And they say that these children's toys, which were just children's toys with no messaging, that were rainbow
they had
colored.
Bands of colors.
They had bands of colors. And apparently this is, quote, contrary to Islamic values.
Yeah. We don't believe in colors.
No way.
We believe in shades of grays and beige. That's
probably
all.
Lots of beige. I think they're probably big fans of
sand colors. Is that what you're saying?
Well, and I think that's probably it, right? Because they're saying this campaign against these toys resulted in the seizure and release of several violations, including the confiscation of children's toys bearing slogans that go against Islamic values. But all anybody can figure out is that, of course, that it's the rainbows. The ministry urges all citizens and residents to report any product bearing logos or designs contrary to our traditions. So I think that's it.
Yeah.
It has to be sand colored.
Yes.
It has to be drab and dreary.
Yeah.
And
that's our tradition, Frank.
There are muted shades of green that are allowed.
You can do like white if you need to.
Yes. But I mean, like, these were such offensive toys, such as rubber stress balls.
Oh, God. No. Just alleviating stress is against their tradition. You're supposed to be as wound up as tight as you can.
That seems actually kind of fitting with Islam, doesn't it? This, of course, is Qatar. We've talked about Qatar recently on the show because they're going to be hosting the World Cup.
Yeah.
Right. For rest of the world football.
Yeah.
And so people are like really watching how Qatar is behaving right now with regards to, like, you know, inclusivity and a lot of the values that the rest of the world might embrace.
Yeah, they may not have thought this whole hosting the World Cup through. Because, like, you know, all of this shit was happening before. Yeah. It's just that the rest of the world wasn't going, hey, cut it out.
Yeah. Yeah, this has definitely brought a spotlight onto them and a level of scrutiny that they may not understand how to operate under.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, speaking of spotlights and scrutiny, one is shining bright on downtown Salt Lake City right now. I'm sure that everyone's expecting us to do this story, so we have to, I suppose.
Okay.
But billionaire Jeff Green, who's a tech billionaire, and every headline that I saw was like, probably richest Utahn.
Like he hasn't lived here for ages.
He hasn't lived here he lives in California, I think, and but he's from Utah.
Yeah,
and I just love that everybody's like, he's probably gotta be the richest guy from Utah, right? Is that what he is? It's like, okay. Anyway, former Mormon and former as of this week.
Oh, yeah.
Because this week, he officially withdrew his membership from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But he didn't do it quietly. He decided he was going to splash this one as heavily as he could. And when you're a billionaire, you can do some splashing.
Oh, yeah.
So Jeff Green has decided, like, he already had announced a little bit ago that he was going to donate 90% of his, what is estimated to be about $5 billion.
Oh, okay.
To charity, either now or upon his death. Like,
he's taken sort of the Warren Buffett challenge, right?
Yeah. And 90% still leaves a billionaire with a lot of money. He's never going to be not okay.
Right.
He's going to be fine.
And that's the point of the Buffett challenge.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. When he did resign from the church, he made sure that it was an open letter that he wrote, and it was scathing.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled zero punches on it. And, it was about LGBTQ issues and social issues and the way they treat women. And like he went down the list and just made sure that it was like not fucking around.
Yeah.
Which
things that the church has done, positions that the church has taken, are being called out. And he phrased it as the church has done more damage to sort of, the civil rights.
Right.
Than any other organization in America or something like that.
I don't know if he said that. I know that he said that while the church does some good, they do way more damage than good.
Oh, okay.
I think that may have been. I don't know if that's the one that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is not only, and of course he is going to put his money where his mouth is on this. He's already said he's going to give away, 90% of his wealth. Well, the first donation after this letter was to Equality Utah, which is the largest gay LGBTQ advocacy organization in the state.
Yeah.
And you were telling me about, why don't you tell the people about what the $600,000 that he gave to Equality Utah is for?
I think it said that like half of that $600,000 is going toward a scholarship specifically for BYU students. That's Brigham Young University down in Provo.
Yeah.
LDS church owned, very conservative, doesn't really like the gays.
And pretty shitty all around. Like, has problems with like, they've victim blaming when it comes to like sexual assault charges, all of those fun conservative like church-owned universities have similar, they all do it.
Yes. And so now if you're a gay student at BYU and you want to leave, there's a scholarship fund to help you do so, which is the best fuck you. Yeah. LDS church. It's just a beautiful
That is a grand fuck you. And the thing is, look, it's not like you and I, Frank, are advocating, hey, listen to billionaires here. Like, that is the last thing I want anyone to do. But I love that someone's shining a spotlight. Like, the one thing that a billionaire can do at any time, at any given moment, is shine a spotlight on something.
Oh, yeah. Because everybody loves a billionaire.
Well, and because, like we're all looking at what they're doing. And this spotlight is glaring. You know what I mean? It is hard to ignore. And there's nothing that hits specifically this church.
Right.
Of all the churches, there's nothing that hits our former church harder than taking away tithing from a billionaire.
Tithing and bad PR.
Yeah.
They really hate bad PR. And this thing has been everywhere.
Yeah.
I saw it on the Washington Post, New York Times.
Yeah.
All over the places on the internet I go.
Yeah.
And of course it was handled here locally by the Salt Lake Tribune. Not surprisingly though, the Deseret News didn't even run the story.
Did they not?
They didn't even run as far as I'm aware.
That is the church-owned newspaper.
I know KSL didn't, because when I was telling my husband about it, he actually reads KSL for like headlines.
Oh, interesting.
And he was like, "Wait, what?" And then he was like, oh, I guess that story wouldn't be on KSL.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my God.
So, yeah. But the story just seems to be everywhere. And I love that so much because the church tries so hard to not let a light shine on these issues.
Yeah.
And as an organization with a ton of money, you need to be an individual with a ton of money to like call them out on this level.
Yeah.
And his resignation, I guess when you're a billionaire, your resignation letter also, you send it to the president of the church.
Well,
because normally you just send it to like the records office.
Right. Well, what you do is you send it to the press.
Yeah.
Is what you do.
Yeah. But it was addressed to President Nelson.
Yeah.
So
anyway, that's a delightful little bit of Christmas cheer for me.
Well, all right, Dan.
Yes.
Here's a group of people not celebrating Christmas.
Oh no.
Now
do they know it's I can't sing any more of that song.
Gross.
But now it's stuck in your head, so
Gross.
Enjoy that.
Yeah, there's a city up in Michigan that now has an all Muslim city government. All elected officials, the mayor and city council, all Muslim.
It's everyone's worst nightmare.
This is a big fucking deal. The name of the town is Hamtramck.
Okay, I have to stop you right there because I want to clue our listeners into the fact that you were trying to talk about, you were looking at that name and you literally took 15 to 20 runs at it before we started recording. I assume you nailed it just then. But
I have no idea. There are sequences of letters.
Amsterdam, tramp stamp.
Well, it's also for decades it was known as Little Warsaw. Up there in Michigan.
A largely Polish,
very Polish. It's a small little place. It's 2 square miles, really close to downtown Detroit, apparently. Well, I mean, not so long ago, it was a largely Polish community.
Yeah.
And since, I guess, the mid-2000s, I think the article was kind of hinting at, late 90s maybe, large groups of Muslims started moving in.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is a record. This is the first city in the United States that has a government made up entirely of Muslims.
Interesting.
That's probably for a lot of the older population in Hamtramck. That's probably a little bit of a scary thing.
Somebody call Lauren Boebert. Get Marjorie Taylor Greene on the phone. We need to stop this.
Anyway, the article tells the story a little bit of Hamtramck and some of the issues with decay that the community, the buildings and everything, a lot of abandoned buildings, a lot of disrepair, a lot of the town was on the decline. Well, it's in the middle of renewal thanks to these new folks moving in. But the article, it's also sort of telling some of the things that the couple members of the city council they talked to felt the need to address. This quote comes from a woman. Actually, she's the only American-born member of the new city council. She was actually born in the town to a Catholic family, and she converted to Islam. So I'm sure that has its own little thing going on there.
That reeks of daddy issues right there.
Oh my God. But she says one of the big things that people are worried about is that we're going to get rid of the bars.
Oh, yeah.
She goes, we can't get rid of the bars. They're not necessarily bad places that we would want to ban because the non-Muslims aren't expected to live under the same rules that we're expected to live under, she says.
Yeah. That's how secular society works, ding-dongs.
Yeah. The mayor says we are Muslims. We are proud of our beliefs and values, but we're not going to try to impose them on others.
That's what you guys do.
Yeah. I mean, I think when a mosque in town comes forward and asks for can we
grant or something?
Or can we do the call to prayer at 4 a.m.? Right? Like, this is an Iowa City Council that, is probably going to be okay with it. Like, the town is going to take on a new character.
Sure.
Right? We'll see. Because of this. But then there was also some people who've been noticing things like, apparently the mayor's victory party, he had a number of women who worked on his campaign, volunteers who worked on the campaign, none of whom showed up to his victory party because it was after dark.
Oh.
And apparently there's this thing where women don't go out at night.
They did. Oh my God.
And so so it's definitely going to be a little different up there in Hamtramck, Michigan. Now.
I feel like, I have always wanted this to happen because what I hate is when Christians start talking about how this is a Christian nation and what we should do is take over the local government and then make sure we instill Christian values in the government.
Right.
And I want to be able to point to this and say, hey, look, do you want them to be able to do the same when they have sufficient population?
Yeah.
How would you feel if you lived in Hamtramck and you're one of the Christian minority members?
Yeah.
And suddenly the majority Muslim population starts implementing their thing.
Yeah.
Well, if you would not like that, then you should probably think twice about your deal.
They won't.
Not right now.
They'd rather probably start some holy war.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's what they want.
Yeah.
That's what they desperately want. All right, Frank, I am going to say some names to you.
Okay.
And I want you to just sort of tell me what it evokes in you. Like, what do you think these people do? When you hear the names.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Jeremy and Jessica Courtney.
That's Courtney's their last name.
Yes.
Jeremy and Jessica Courtney.
What does that evoke for you? What do you think? What do you imagine Jeremy and Jessica Courtney do?
Jeremy and Jessica Courtney. They're real estate agents.
Yeah, they got a show on HGTV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they?
No, they don't.
Oh, okay.
But I can see where you would go with that. Anyway,
they flip houses,
right? No, this Jeremy and Jessica Courtney are former missionaries. Who then sort of kept in touch with the donors to their mission and started a charity. Now, here's the thing.
Good for them.
Their charity, which is called Preemptive Love Coalition.
What is preemptive love?
Right? It sounds bad. But actually, theoretically, what they do is just relief work in countries like Iraq, Syria, Mexico. It's apparently just
this doesn't sound bad so far.
And the charity itself is not explicitly Christian.
Okay.
Which means that the charity is not going around handing out Bibles or requiring membership in their church or baptism or whatever in order to get help.
There's another shoe here somewhere.
There's a but. A series of people have now have now resigned their positions because old Jeremy and Jessica, sweet Jeremy and Jessica, are apparently horrible. They just within the religion, or the charity itself, they are abusive. They run it basically like a cult, demanding absolute loyalty and punishing all dissent. So even when they're in a non-religious, when they've started a non-religious thing, I think once you have a dictatorial religion, dogmatic religion as your sort of your base, your exemplar of how to run an organization, things go bad.
Oh my!
So currently, the board has put them on a leave. While they sort of sort through what's happening, but multiple of their people including people who are higher up. Their former communications director, Ben Irwin, published an article on Medium that was basically just scathing.
Oh my.
So yeah, the board has published an open letter saying that they have received serious complaints, including problems with the Courtneys that involve race, gender, and power dynamics. Which just sounds like they're running a church. At that point, they just sound like they're running a church.
That will get you in trouble.
Yeah.
In the workplace, I suppose. Oh golly.
They did things like Irwin accused them of things like apparently a lot of deceptive messaging, including things like using the Haitian earthquake to solicit donations, which sure, except that they have no operations in Haiti. So that's a little shady. And also apparently Jeremy Courtney released video footage of himself in Mosul in Iraq when an airstrike happened and like big explosions.
Yeah.
He was there, but apparently they edited in the explosions to make it look like he was much closer to the airstrike.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just use some TikTok effects or something.
Yeah, probably. just to make him seem that much awesomer or whatever.
I mean, they're selling a product ultimately, right? Like,
I mean,
they need people to donate to their organization. Then they're the personality. They're the face of this organization.
Yeah, probably not for long.
I totally get it.
It may be that they'll be kicked out of their own. It's likely that they will be kicked out of their own organization.
Golly, that's just unfortunate because they're the ones that they had the vision.
They had the vision, and that vision was abusive. Was to treat apparently literally like abusing also recipients of their the charity.
Like when you run an organization, like you got to be given a little bit of latitude, right? To
look,
everybody, they're different management styles,
right?
Some are more effective than others.
Yeah,
maybe that's all that was going on here. Seems like to me they've got like some real snowflakes that they hired.
Well, and it's like I say, it's not just who they hired. It is also the when a person named Audrey White, who recently posted on Twitter asking for the Courtneys to be held accountable. She was a former employee. She said, "I saw them humiliate the refugees they claimed to be empowering, abuse and bully the local Iraqi female staff while preaching about love anyway online." So
gross.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dan, I think this is the first time I've mentioned somebody's name on this show. Because I don't really care for maybe I've mentioned him before, I'm sure. Donald Trump Jr.
Oh, DJ
himself,
as I like to call him,
or Deej. Oh, look at little Deej out there, talking to groups. He's been doing some public speaking.
Yeah, he has.
He's been making all the rounds. Well, he was recently at a Turning Point USA conference.
Yeah.
Down in Arizona. Now, if you're not familiar with Turning Point, it's like a high school, college age, conservative organization, political organization.
Yeah, they're real peaches over there.
Yeah. So he was talking to this group, and his basic message was that the peaceful message, the peaceful rules as laid out in the Bible.
Sure.
Because it's such a peaceful book.
Right.
But anyway, they like to think of it that way, and that's how they'll talk about it. And he's saying that those peaceful rules have, quote, gotten us nothing. He says, and if we band together, we can take on these institutions. That's where we've gone wrong for a long time. They cannot cancel us all. Okay, first of all, you have to be cancelable in order to be canceled, right? Like, you can't cancel Donald Trump Jr. He has people who like you can't denounce him enough that the people who follow him aren't going to keep listening to him.
Right. We're not the one. Yeah. Like the liberals don't care about him, want nothing to do with him anyway. Right. He's already as canceled can be on one side.
Right. And so like, anyway, I just love that he's like, I love that they make it out like the liberals are trying to cancel them.
Right.
And it's just like, oh God.
The amazing thing about this is, if like, obviously the Trumps don't know anything about religion or Christianity. They don't care about they literally jumped on the wagon at the very last minute as
it was leaving town
as an obvious ploy to get votes, which clearly worked.
Yeah.
But they don't know anything about it. But to say this peace business is idiotic. This is when Jesus is literally referred to as the Prince of Peace.
Yeah.
Like you have to use code words, dum-dum. You can't just use the word peace.
I think we're at a point where, especially like a group of young conservatives, they're there for the political reasons far more than they're there for, and I think this is probably true for most Christians, political Christians
in the United States,
on the political right.
Yeah.
On the religious political right. They're there more for the politics than they are for the religion.
Oh yeah.
And so for somebody to show up and start preaching this message, this is what they're waiting for.
Yeah.
They're waiting for people to give them permission to ignore the quote unquote peaceful parts of the Bible.
Yeah. They want an excuse to have a quote. I saw just today, somebody asked Madison Cawthorn, who's a representative, a new representative, one of these crazy QAnon ding dongs here in the United States.
Yeah.
They asked him, when will it be time for a Second Amendment solution?
God.
And he was like, soon.
Yeah, no.
That's guns, everybody. For all of you who don't know the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, that means guns.
I thought that they were talking about a well-regulated militia.
Yeah.
When will the time be for a well-regulated militia?
Yeah. I would like more regulations on our militia.
Well, they're talking. Anyway.
Yeah,
I won't get into the. You know, Dan.
Yes.
But anyway, so they cannot cancel us all. He said. This will be contrary to a lot of our beliefs because I'd love not to have to participate in cancel culture. I'd love that it didn't exist, but as long as it does, folks, we better be playing the same game.
Oh, okay. Really? The thing that they've been screaming about for the last many months, they're going to dive into it as though they haven't been the most cancelingest of all.
He says conservatives have been playing t-ball while liberals played hardball.
Oh my God.
He suggested that conservatives should not turn the other cheek, right? We've turned the other cheek, and I understand sort of the biblical reference. He said. I understand the mentality, but it's gotten us nothing. He complained. Okay.
He literally contradicts the Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck the Beatitudes.
Yeah. Okay. It's gotten us nothing. Well, we've ceded ground in every major institution. How dare you?
Wow.
How dare you say that you guys have ceded ground in every major institution?
Yeah. I mean, it's
just
literally
look at the fucking Supreme Court as
it's
the
literally
prime example.
the exact opposite of what's the case. And also like you're giving the liberals so much more credit than they deserve.
Oh my God.
They have just been a bumbling bunch of ding dongs.
Yeah.
It's funny when the victor is like, oh no, we've been losing.
But that's what these people do.
That's what they do.
He's got Christianity and how to talk to these people down.
Oh yeah,
really well.
Yeah,
because it's all about being the victim
and and scare tactics. It's all about like how scared you need to be scared.
Yeah,
and then accusing us of fear mongering.
Yeah.
Look, it is the season for controversial displays on public grounds. It happens every year.
What kind of controversial displays?
Well, whether it be exclusively Christian displays, that could be controversial. Or if you're inclusive about your displays,
that is far more controversial.
You're gonna be really looking at it, and that is very true in the state of Illinois. You know, every year for a few years now, the members of Illinois' Satanic Temple have put up what they've called a snaketivity display, and that's cute. That's fun.
Yeah.
This year they decided to ramp it up a little bit.
Oh no!
And what's funny is before they even did this, I should say, before they even filed any paperwork, because you got to file some paperwork to get a display up in the Capitol.
Yeah.
In the Capitol building, in the rotunda or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know, every year the Catholic Church wants to put up a beautiful little nativity scene.
I'm sure it's lovely
and
tasteful.
And for the past little while, every year the Satanic Temple people have been like, well, we're gonna put up a thing too. So before they even did anything, a Catholic bishop was like, literally put out a statement. This was a guy named Bishop Thomas John Paprocki, I like to call him.
Paprocki. I love Bishop Paprocki.
Who basically said...
Is he from Hamstramp?
He is from... That's originally. And he said that Satanism should, quote, should have no place in this capital or any other place. Because he doesn't like democracy.
Oh.
Clearly. The Christians don't here. They don't like it. They want Sharia law just by another name, as we've talked about many times.
They're big fans.
Then, but the Satanic Temple did decide to step it up this year. And this year, they did a little nativity of their own. They did an adorable little baby Baphomet. It's really cute. It's kind of grotesque, but also really cute. And it's just on a little pedestal in a sort of in a cloud of fabric.
Yeah,
it's just a little baby there. The leaders of the local chapter of the Satanic Temple, did a little dedication ceremony, said a little, not quite prayer because it's an atheist religion. It doesn't have any supernatural beliefs.
Nothing to pray to.
But they did do, a few Hail Satans. They were met there. They did actually invite Pop Rocks, Bishop Pop Rocks, to come and check it out. He did not show up.
Why not? That would have been that would have been the right thing to do.
It would have
building bridges, right?
He does not want to build a bridge to the Satanists. But there were a bunch of Catholics that did show up. They had big signs.
They should really do an outreach program. Satanists building bridges.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Get the most vitriolic, hateful responses from the Christians. Just that they're trying to build bridges with.
Right. As a matter of fact,
there's just one Unitarian standing there.
The Satanic Temple should be their image should be half of a bridge with Baphomet reaching across. Build your half.
Yeah.
Come on.
Here we are.
Here we come.
We want to be your friends.
Why don't you
want to be our friends?
Matter of fact, they did call they called the bishop's statement. They said it was divisive. They were like, "Oh, I just love everything about it." I haven't joined the Satanic Temple because I'm not a joiner, but it would be fun to just go, because there were protesters there with big banners that read things like "Satan is not welcome" or whatever.
Right.
And I that's kind of delightful. I would just love to go to those things, and then literally the whole response. You don't have to argue with them. Here's what the banner said. They said, "Satan has no rights. No rights." And they also said, "Begone, Satan. Mary crushes the serpent," which is a weird reference. But there you go. I just thought I would just want to go and just be like, "Oh, thanks for coming, guys." I appreciate you. I mean, this doesn't feel very welcoming. This doesn't feel very inclusive, but
Very
you know,
Christian.
But we're happy to include you. Would you like to come and join our little ceremony? We'd love to have you.
No. Heads explode.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy cow.
Well, there you go. Hail Satan to them. And that's a cute little thing to do. If you, listener at home, would care to write to us about this or any of the things that we've talked about, please do. Feel free. The address is podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442. Stick around, there is more show coming up.
Well, Frank,
Dan,
listen, there has been a new couple that has been showing up to the Jim Bakker show.
Oh, okay.
And they are lunatics. And
Okay.
they are crazy even by Jim Bakker show standards.
That's pretty out
And they're
there.
bringing some stuff to the show that I am really enjoying. This is Sharon and Derek Gilbert.
Okay.
They're taking shit into a weird direction.
Oh.
Like demons and aliens and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Good. Yeah, okay.
Is
Is this really where modern American Christianity has landed?
Yeah, I think it's in that direction. We'll just
Okay.
I'll just play this and then we'll see what you think. You
Okay.
haven't heard it yet.
Okay.
Let's just play it and see what happens.
The United States Capitol, our Congress meets in a building called the Temple of Democracy, named for a temple of Satan.
Wow.
And on December 25 of 2020, when Jupiter and Saturn got together in the 21st, yeah, sorry, on the winter solstice. When they got together, it was like a picture of Satan
Yes,
meeting with Shemyaza
yes,
and making a plan.
right.
Now's our time. Let's go take over the world.
And again, New Agers and occultists who are looking for this golden age when this old entity, Kronos, Saturn, ruled the earth, in other words, the pre-flood era, that's what they want to bring back. Mm-hmm. And that
Now
is
you
what they're working
really
for.
connect those events at the Capitol on January 6th to the return of Saturn. How do these pieces really fit together? I want people to understand what you're just not saying something off the top of your head.
No.
But you guys really believe this stuff.
Yes, we do.
And I think God's trying to wake his church up.
Yeah.
And we've gotten so, what is it?
Complacent?
Yeah. That we don't even see the mighty signs that are all around us. And
We
that's what I'm
don't.
trying to bring to the world.
We don't. And for those of you who are sitting there thinking, well, how does this affect me? At the very least, it means that we are very, very, very close to the return of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Because the enemy knows a little bit about timing, knows the Bible better than we do.
Right.
And so the enemy is saying, now is our time.
Mm-hmm.
And their plan is to try to prevent the return of Jesus Christ.
Right.
There you go, Frank. You remember?
Gas.
Right?
And not prevent the return of Jesus Christ. I mean, how could you? It's so preposterous on its surface.
I
right?
love that the goal, first of all, he's talking about New Agers and occultists. Who's being the occultist right now? You're
I
the one who's
know.
talking about like what it means when there's a conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn.
We have to study it, Dan.
Do you remember that last year? There was right at the solstice.
That was amazing.
But
yeah.
what was funny is that everybody was calling it the Christmas star when it was literally just like they weren't even that close together. They were still very visibly two bodies, but they were close enough that they kind of looked like it was ridiculous. It was,
if you had a really bad astigmatism,
yeah,
Right.
If you cross your eyes enough, it's one star. And it was just weird. And it was just this, like, it was just, and it wasn't on Christmas, as they say, it was on the solstice.
yeah. Oh yeah.
But back then they were making it about Jesus. Now they're making it about Kronos, Saturn the god? Are we talking about the god Saturn?
This is but Dan, this is pre-flood.
Right.
What's important here is it's pre-flood. And they want to come back. I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I got news for you, Derek. We're not angling for a different god. Like we're not like hoping to get rid of Christianity in hopes of going back to Saturn, to Kronos, to Titans, and and whatever. I think that's not what we're angling at.
Well, I just love how impotent is Jesus Christ in their mind.
Right.
To not be able to like you're talking about the fucking God.
Yeah.
The God.
Yeah.
Right. All powerful, omnipotent, the whole works, right?
Right.
I said two things that mean the same thing. But you're telling me you can foil his plans?
Right, exactly.
It's so stupid.
Well, and also, even if there were major, very powerful plans afoot to thwart the second coming of Jesus, according to your theology, as you point out, Frank, you don't got to do shit. You can't thwart it. So don't worry about it. Just sit back and chill.
Just let it happen.
Just go do literally, why don't you go do some loving, which is what all Jesus said to do. Go do some charity and just wait. You don't have to stop the bad guys.
Isn't there an actual prohibition about trying to figure out when it's going to happen anyway?
Yeah, well.
There's something in there.
Yeah.
That says don't try to figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, it also said that it was going to happen within that generation. So,
well, but you have to understand.
No.
Generation means something different.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
You have to think about time on God's scale.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's cute. All right, well, we had some folks write into us, call into us. We got some people. We've got some correspondence. So let's just dive right in. Our friend Steve wrote into us to say, hey, guys, I have a hitch encounter of the third kind to share.
Ooh, nice.
This is a reference to Christopher Hitchens, who we honored somewhat on last week's show.
Yeah, tried to.
Steve said, seated in the back row during a session of The Amazing Meeting, which is shortened to TAM, back in 2007, I had trouble hearing the speaker thanks to two dudes standing a few feet back behind me, talking in what I'm sure they thought was sotto voce. I got up, walked back, and whispered, "Excuse me, gentlemen, but I'm having trouble hearing." One of them immediately and graciously apologized, and they took their conversation out into the hall. A little while later, the host announced that the next speaker, one Christopher Hitchens, and I recognized the man stepping up to the mic as the fellow who had just apologized to me.
Oh.
This was the first I had ever heard of Hitchens. Needless to say, his presentation held me rapt. A friend later pointed out that I may be the only person in history who ever successfully shushed Christopher Hitchens.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cute. Shelley wrote into us to say thank you so much for acknowledging the 10-year anniversary of the loss of Hitch. My husband knew him. And you're basically bragging, Shelley. This is a brag. But I am jealous, I will admit. I'm totally jealous. My husband knew him. And once we went to his house for dinner while in D.C. I can say without hesitation that this event remains in the top 10 of my life so far. I could go on, but the main thing is how charming. Sit next to me, dear. Keep yourself from the rabble, was the quote. And freakishly smart he was. He had an eidetic memory and could quote paragraphs from 18th century tomes. His friend James Kirchick was also there. Jamie is gay, and he and Hitch also engaged in some 4th grade level ribbing of each other that was hilarious to me and super unexpected. Not a day of the Trump maladministration went by that I did not wish Hitch was around to skewer that narcissistic know-nothing. Yeah. That is the voice that we needed to shred the Donald. But alas,
how would that have been?
We didn't have it. Why don't we play the voicemail that we got?
This is from Donnie.
Our friend Donnie.
Our friend Donnie. He called in to in response to a couple shows ago. I think we were talking about surviving Christmas? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
To get through it all. And here's what he has to say.
Hey guys, it's Donnie, Mount Shasta, California. We've talked before. So I sent you a picture of our Christmas tree, which has a Mr. Bones standing up right next to it. So my pattern for surviving Christmas is to just have fun. So my husband and I, we always put out a couple of skeletons with Christmas hats on, or, whatever. You just have to make it your own. So I think that's all you have to do.
And yes, he did send an image of a skeleton next to a Christmas tree. That's sure. Go skeletal. Why not?
Just do whatever you want to do.
Celebrate the death part of Christmas.
The death part.
I don't know what it is, but you can figure it out.
Well, 33 years later.
I like that. There's been a meme going around that's it's an old, maybe a Renaissance painting of the Nativity.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know when it was painted, but an old painting of the Nativity. And in the background, there's a crucifix hanging on the wall, and it says, "Spoiler alert."
Like originally in the painting?
Yeah, originally in the painting.
There is a crucifix?
There's a crucifix.
And
it's just
funny.
like, oh, come on, guys. Don't give away the ending. Oh, man. All right. Paul also wrote into us, Dear Frank and Dan, I'm a longtime listener, but just a recent patron. Well done, Paul. How are the magic powers going? Are they awesome? I bet they are. So anyway, I thought you might enjoy how our small South Central Pennsylvania town handled our 2021 Dillsburg Area Free Thinkers, or DAFT for short, Festivus display. Since 2014, our Festivus banner and pole have joined the two nativity scenes on the town square. In 2011, I requested that the borough place a disclaimer sign near the nativity scene indicating that the borough did not place and did not endorse the nativity scene, which they did. But every year since our Festivus display gets put up, the disclaimer sign gets pounded into the ground right in front of and partially blocking the Festivus greetings. So every year I undo the disclaimer sign and pound it into the ground midway between the baby Jesus and the Festivus pole. I decided to try something different this year and just let the disclaimer sign stay where the borough employee placed it. I posted a pic of the display on the local Facebook group, or on a local Facebook page, that the Festivus display was once again up on the square like I usually do. The next morning, I got a call from the borough manager asking me what I did and did I know just how many phone calls she received about the disclaimer sign being placed so rudely. Later that day, a new disclaimer sign was put between the displays stating that all the displays were privately placed and none were endorsed by the borough, with a promise that this would never happen again. The added attention caused a group of people to get together to meet on December 23rd, which is Festivus, for the airing of grievances. That's cute.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think that's fun. And he included a picture. And indeed, they did just place the sign like it's blocking a big portion of their
rude.
Display.
That
Very
is legitimately rude.
Just
They wouldn't have done that to a baby Jesus.
No. No.
I do not approve.
But our friend Paul was very gracious. And didn't move the sign to block the baby Jesus because he understands that that's wrong. Yeah, there you go.
Just caused an uproar.
Well, I need to give some thanks. We're past Thanksgiving, and yet
one must show gratitude.
Showed gratitude. It is the season of giving, and one Janice has given to us, and that is a lovely thing to do.
Wonderful,
Janice. So thank you so much, and we, in response, would like to give back to you. In the form of magic powers, you get the priesthood, Janice.
Ooh, what level?
And we're going to give you, you know what? We're going to ordain her a priest.
Nice.
So Janice,
Well
congratulations.
done.
You are now a priest. You have priestly powers. You get to bless the sacrament.
Such power.
And
such authority.
Although I will say this, in a pinch, you can pour oil on somebody's head and pronounce a blessing on them too.
Something.
I think so. Anyway,
I don't know.
you know what?
Fuck it. If you can use the oil.
Do what you want. Do whatever you want. You're magic now. So thank you so much for that.
And if you'd like to join her,
I think you should.
You can do so.
It is the season for giving.
Yeah, go to our website, thankgodimatheist.com, and look for the support tab.
Yeah,
it's easy. Click on the support tab. You got some options.
If you can't do that, we understand, but do give us 5 stars wherever you can find some stars to give us. That is lovely. And tell your friends about us. That's all very helpful. Those are very, very lovely ways to help us out.
Yeah.
And we have one more person to thank.
We do indeed. We have our Lord and Savior Dan, our top donor, Demonium. Thanks, everyone. There's more show coming up.
Well, Frank.
Dan.
The new year is just around the corner.
It is indeed.
And
what a year it's going to be.
Yeah.
Already I can just tell. I can feel it.
Well,
sometimes you can feel just all the goodness, all this warmth and rays of sunshine just around the corner.
By warmth, do you mean global warming?
Yeah, tons of it.
Just
much.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Looking forward, your sarcasm is noted. It is easy to despair currently.
Yes.
We do have a climate emergency currently, as the people in the Midwest who have experienced unseasonable tornadoes can tell you about. We've got our democracy is on the brink of failure here in these United States. There's rampant pay inequality currently. There's racial inequality everywhere you look.
Inflation is the big boogeyman right now. Scary.
Not sure. Yeah, there's a lot of shit stuff. And scary. Also, not to mention a new variant of the pandemic that is the most communicable thing.
Why can't this end? Why won't this just fucking end?
Well, unfortunately, we didn't disseminate. We had a vaccine. I don't know if you know this. We have a vaccine. We just didn't get it everywhere.
No.
And we also couldn't convince everyone where it was readily available. We couldn't convince
enough people
to take it. So now we've got
it's remarkable.
Omicron. It's just it's not good. It's not a good thing.
No. Okay, so here's my take is like where we're at with the pandemic.
Okay.
Which is, we know what it is. At this point, we sort of like Omicron is a little scary because it's this new thing, but it seems like it's mainly just more contagious.
Yeah.
That's what's really bad about it.
Right. It's the same but worse.
It's the same but much more likely to overwhelm our public health system.
Yeah.
Right. And to overwhelm our hospitals and everything. And so, but again, we have familiarity with it. And this is where I'm trying to stay. I know what it is. I have my vaccinations. I've been boosted. I know how to wear a mask. I know what to do. I know that testing is a good thing.
Yes.
And tests are, they're not really, the home tests aren't all that readily available at the moment, but you can still go get one.
Biden just said he's going to release free home tests.
Yeah, it's like a month away though.
It's still
but
there.
It's coming, right? It's coming. And that's a good thing.
Testing's widely available in these United States.
And so we have the tools and we've got our brains and hopefully we're a rational bunch. Us, me and you and our listeners.
Yes.
And
everyone here in the room with us in the podcast room.
And so like, it's scary. It's an unknown, but I'm ready to face Omicron.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
I know it's going to suck. I know it's going to be another rough patch.
Yeah.
And I know that where are we at? 800,000 people dead in this country?
Plus
Plus at this moment?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna
hit that million. We're gonna hit the million.
We're gonna get there, everybody. Don't you worry.
Yay.
We're gonna get there.
It's so bad.
So that's kind of where I'm at. As far as like global warming, I just refuse to think about it. I will do my part. I will do what I can. But at the end of the day, I don't know. We're looking at maybe Michigan as being an option to move to. we're looking around. Like where can you move that like it's not going to just be absolutely awful.
You don't
and
need
Michigan
to move.
is like kind of high on the list.
Why would a Salt Laker need to move?
Scorching summers.
Oh no.
Running out of water.
Yeah, well, the water thing's a bit of an issue. Yeah, we don't have any water.
And so forth and so on.
There is a drought happening.
Yeah. And the terrible air that we just can't seem to shake.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. So let us look for some rays of sunshine in all of this. I am going to say that I think things are going to get bad, but maybe now is a good time because all of the things that we just listed are way too big for any individual person to solve.
Right.
You can't solve it. Like you say, you can do your part.
You do your thing.
You make sure that it's probably a good time to redouble your efforts in terms of, a lot of people have very, very relaxed on their COVID protocols, their personal COVID protocols. Might be time to tighten up. Listen, I don't know who to listen to at this point. It's kind of ridiculous, but just tighten up. Run a tighter ship yourself.
Okay. You don't need to know who to listen to at this point. You already know what to do.
But do you? Anyway, yes,
you do.
Masking is probably and maybe try and find some places that don't let you in unless you have your COVID card, unless you have your vaccination card.
Yeah.
A friend of mine just recently sent me a photograph. His uncle-in-law has just passed away. He was unvaccinated. He had apparently, though, in his possession, both I have a religious exemption to any kind of mandate, how dare you card.
Right.
And a falsified vaccination card.
Oh, golly.
Both of those things, neither of them prevented him from getting the COVID and dying.
Yeah. Oh my God. Could you imagine though? You're like, will you accept this one?
No.
You're like, oh, okay. Well, let me try this one.
Let me pull out the old.
This one says I don't have to get it.
But
this one says I did get it.
This one says I got it. So, God. But yeah, I mean, God, encourage your local places to tighten up too. Anyway, you go. The point that we're headed toward is maybe it's time to make it a time of personal growth and of personal joys. Find happiness in your little, get your bubble. And find your joys inside of that.
I don't know that we're to the point where we all need to start making sourdough bread again. But
yeah, we already went through the baking phase of the pandemic.
I don't know if we can loop back to that wholly, but that's something. There's something along those lines.
You can find us another kind of hobby. It's time. It's time for that. It's time to make all of your resolutions about curing your depression because literally therapists are worried right now.
Go take some long walks.
Yeah.
Do some self-care. I mean, we sort of pitched this to each other before the show as well. I pitched it to you as like we need to give a pep talk.
Yeah, we're not doing a good job of pep talking at all.
I think we are. This is a rational pep talk. This is not like pie in the sky. Go out there and, beat some Omicron ass or whatever. This is just, you already know what to do. Do it. you've gotten this far,
right?
It's going on 2 years. We know how to pandemic. We just have to get through the next little bit.
But realize we are still like, don't get, if you haven't been boosted yet, get the booster. The booster is vital.
Yeah.
If you're not boosted, shit's going to go wrong. Like literally you got to get your booster.
Yeah. And just,
take the steps that you need to take.
We're going to get through Omicron, and then, we'll get through a few more Greek letters.
Yeah.
And Epsilon is the one to really look out for.
Because after that, they have to switch to a whole other alphabet. Is that what it is?
No, then it's probably just like Alpha.
Oh,
I don't know what they'll do. I have no idea.
They'll just go to ABC.
Yeah. No.
Look, the point is, you do know how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
More people are going to die.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to continue to do that. Although, you know what? Here's another little ray of sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
The FDA did just approve that Pfizer antiviral drug.
Yeah.
So there will be therapeutics as well as preventatives
Mm-hmm.
that are out there. Don't rely on it. Make sure you get the preventatives first.
Mm-hmm. And do your part.
Do your due diligence.
Yeah.
But if things go wrong for you,
Mm-hmm.
pretty soon there will be therapeutics out there that will be very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. But also, again, just find your joy.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't, like, everybody's been depressed for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to start like realizing that you can still thrive within these confines.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of really scary shit in the world.
I could, the list.
Don't list. We've listed enough.
There's more.
There's plenty.
There's plenty more.
Those of you who are not in the United States of America, we're one of the things. Like, our country is high on the list of things that are terrifying. But just realize that what you can't control almost any of that, but you can control your little world. Or parts of your little world, and you can control your responses to the universe. So try to be gentle and try to enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Don't panic.
Yeah.
A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy currently applies.
There's literally nothing you can do about a gamma ray. Like if it's coming, it's just coming, right? Like.
Now you're just trying to terrify the people. Now you're just doing it on purpose at this point. Oh my God, the gamma rays, really? Okay.
You won't even feel it. It'll just be over.
Go ahead, go find somebody else that needs your help and help them, because helping feels good.
Yeah.
And help you, because that feels good. Find a therapist if you need one, but yeah, find your joy. And I would love for our listeners to write in and tell us briefly what joy you have found that you think others might enjoy too.
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
We want you to be part of the pep talk. So write into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com, and tell us the little thing that you're doing that's just giving you a bit of that ray of sunshine in the deep, deep darkness of the universe.
Yeah. Or use your voice.
Or
call us and tell us about it.
Do that!
The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yes. Listen, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist. Click the like button. It's how we gather you.
And if you'd like to join one of our members-only lounges, they're great communities.
Yeah, community is one of the things that can bring you some joy. So definitely do that.
Go to our website, thankgodimatheist.com/members only.
Yeah, that'll take you to the Facebook members only lounge or the Discord members only lounge.
They're both there.
Whether you're young or you're old, you've got a space. Hey, thanks so much to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their beautiful music.
And thanks to Gordon Johnston for the use of his music.
And thanks to all of y'all for tuning in. We sure do appreciate you.
Thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye.